Here at HISA Superior, we are concerned about aircraft safety issues and we intensively use NIRIX FNIRS devices in our experiments. One may ask, why are we using this tool?
The main purpose of NIRS is to measure cerebral activity. A great advantage of NIRS is that it can be easily coupled with complementary measures, such as eye tracking, electroencephalography, electrocardiography.
In our human factor team, we are interested in the aircraft piloting task. Although pilots are capable of trust in complex situations, sometimes they unfortunately make mistakes. And we are searching for the neurophysiological markers of those human errors.
For example, during high mental workload episodes, it may become difficult or even impossible to handle all tasks simultaneously, leading in some cases to attentional tunneling.
Eye tracking is one way to detect this behavior, and the NIRIX NIRScout system allows us to measure the underpinning brain activity.
Besides attentional tunneling, there are some external phenomena that may induce human error while piloting, like temporal pressure, instrument failures, and other stressful events.
To control such environmental factors and trigger those events at any given time, we can use a flight simulator. NIRIX NIRSports can be used here thanks to its great portability.
Interestingly, we can use FNIRS in an even more ecological environment, in an aircraft.
This is where the last phase of our research takes place, allowing us to test our research hypotheses during real flight conditions.
Finally, the goal of our research is to improve pilot training and collaboration, propose new tool and cockpit design with the aim of reducing accident numbers.
Foxtrot November Mike, clear to land runway 12, wind 120 degree and knots.
Fox November Mike, clear to land on runway 12.
Thank you for viewing the Argus Science series on use cases featuring the ET Vision wearable eye tracker. Today we're going to take a look at lacrosse. We have player 1 wearing the ET Vision glasses, and player 2 receiving and throwing the ball back to player 1. We can see the pink cursor indicates the gaze of player number 1. You can see player 1 looking both at the racket head and player 2's head as well. We're going to slow it down and follow the ball as it's delivered. See the cursor following the ball nicely right into the racket head of player 1. Player 1's going to throw the ball back to player 2 now. You see them predicting where the ball is going to be and then following it into player 2's racket head. Going back to full speed again now, we can pick up the release point very nicely with the gaze. You can see that the gaze follows the ball accurately as it's delivered back to player 1. As always, if you want to learn more, visit our website. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Tracy Warbrick, the EEG fMRI application specialist here at Brain Products. We can't be at ISMRM this year, however, we would still like to introduce some new products for you. In this video, it will be carbon wire loops for the BrainCap MR. If you'd like further information on this, you can click on the link below for sessions with us directly. Now, standard artifact handling for EEG fMRI data usually works okay. However, if you have motion artifact in your data, this can make data handling very challenging, especially in special populations where it's not possible to keep your volunteers perfectly still. The carbon wire loops for the BrainCap MR help with motion artifact handling. The movement of these loops in the magnetic field allows you to record a motion signal and estimate and reject this artifact from your EEG data. Now, our carbon wire loop solution has 5 bipolar loops. These are situated at different points on the head, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and 3 on the midline. This gives you good coverage of motion inside the scanner. Because this is a bipolar measurement, you will also need a BrainAmp EXG amplifier for this recording. If you would like further information on this topic, we will have an article in our forthcoming press release, or you can click on the link below to talk to us directly about it. Please also stay tuned for other videos we have on other new products and our updated sequence guidelines.
Hello everyone, my name is Eduardo and I'm one of the scientific consultants here at Brain Products. With this video I'm very excited to introduce you to a new solution for high quality wireless EEG recording with dry lectures, the CGX Quick 20R. You can see it here. This solution was developed in California by CGX for Mecognionics, with whom Brain Products have recently partnered up for worldwide distribution.
The Quick headset come in 8, 20 or 30 channel configurations and follow the one-size-fits-all concept with versions for adults and children. The headset already contains all you need to get started with your recording: a wireless amplifier, a series of legs with active dry electrodes, and a base structure containing ear pads, the battery compartment, and the input for ground and reference ear clips. Wearing the headset is easy and can be self-done with little fuss. Just grab the sides, pull down onto the head of the participant, and then ensure that all sensors have a good connection with the scalp.
If you're interested in having more information on the CGX Quick 20R, please click on the link below to sign up for the upcoming webinar, where we're going to give you a detailed overview of the headset components. We're going to show you how to record data, as well as how to set up wireless triggering.
this video, we will show you how to exchange tubes of the R-net to optimize its fit. Find the perfect fit by adjusting the length of the cords such that the clamping block is aligned with the jawbone and that all the electrodes are in close contact with the skin. If this is not possible, you can also exchange the tubes. To exchange a tube, you will need extra silicone tube, a measuring tape, scissors, and a pen. First, untie the knot. Next, press and hold the button on the clamping block that corresponds to the tube you want to replace. Pull out the silicone cord and remove the tube. Reinsert the cord and adjust the fit. Measure the length for the replacement tube. Mark and cut the tube. Slide the replacement tube over the cord. Insert the cord into the clamping block. Put the cover on the cord and tie the knot. With the clamping block, you can adjust all the cords individually to find the perfect fit. If necessary, you can also exchange all three of these highlighted tubes.
Real-time FNIRS neurofeedback is a non-invasive imaging method and probably a new treatment strategy. Compared with fMRI, it is less sensitive to movement, patient, user-friendly, and much cheaper. The established FNIRS-based neurofeedback experimental platform consists of three parts. First, data acquisition and transmission. Second, online data processing and feedback. Third, an experimental interface which could monitor the subject's brain activity online. We choose orbital frontal cortex as region of interest and want to find out whether subjects can learn to upregulate their OFC activity. We choose a stone as feedback signal to motivate subjects. There are three lights on the top. At the beginning, the red light is on, which instructs the subject to rest. After that, the light switches to green, which instructs the subject to focus on the stone and try to lift it as high as possible by using their mind. The stone reflects activity in the OFC. The stronger the activity, the higher the stone. Besides, we also need a partition board to separate the subject and experimenter. Our results indicate that after drilling, the activity of subjects' OFC increased. That's exactly what we want to show. They learn to upregulate the OFC. This is all about the experiment. Thanks for watching.
Argus Science video series, Eye Tracking Fundamentals. This episode will feature ET3 space, which will combine gaze with head position and orientation to determine gaze with respect to room environment. Our environment includes 4 Qualisys Ocus 100 cameras that will provide precise position and orientation of the participant's head. We will clip on Argus Science's supplied reflective marker assembly, referred to as a rigid body, onto the ET Vision glasses. After launching Qualisys Track Manager, or QTM, we will choose the rigid body file provided by Argus Science. ET Vision will report line of gaze with respect to the head. The concept of ET3 space is to combine Qualisys supplied head position and orientation with the gaze direction reported by ET Vision. The result is the gaze reported relative to surfaces or objects in the environment in real time. This makes analysis as simple as a few mouse clicks and allows for real-time gaze contingent options. Once we select the glasses mounted rigid body in QTM, we may view the rigid body from each of the Qualisys cameras in our environment. The view of the rigid body from each camera will be unique. Qualisys uses these unique views to determine rigid body position and orientation in our room environment, also referred to as our global coordinate frame. Clicking to 3D view in QTM shows a visualization of the rigid body in our global coordinate frame. The large axis set represent the positive X, Y, Z planes of our environment. The smaller axes represent the position and direction of the glasses mounted rigid body. Here we can see the rigid body moving about in our environment. Now we may launch ET Vision and calibrate a participant. Position and orientation of the rigid body is constantly streamed from QTM to the ET Vision application. Once the participant puts on the glasses, it is a simple matter of calibrating gaze. In this example, we present our auto-calibration target to the participant via the ET Phone app. In this view, we see ET Vision to the left, QTM in the center, and a view of the participant to the right. We may now open a file and begin recording. In the scene camera view of the ET Vision, we can observe the gaze represented by the green circular cursor. We may also see the surface of interest that are shown with bounding boxes around each surface. Gaze is reported by recording the surface on which the gaze falls and the gaze position in centimeters or inches upon that surface. Once data collection is complete, we may now perform analysis on that data using Argus Science's ET Analysis program. After loading a participant file, we may then choose to find a fixation sequence. One step in a fixation sequence is to define fixation criteria. We may use the default values or adjust to your own criteria. More on this is covered in our ET Analysis manual. Once fixation criteria is entered, we must associate the participant file with a background and area of interest, or AOI, collection. Using ET3 space allows us to use a common background and AOI collection for all participants. In this project, we only have one background and one AOI set, so we do not need to choose. Now we may observe the fixation sequence and dwell nodes. The data may be viewed as a bar chart with different plot options listed on the right. With any option selected, the charts may then be saved as an image for use in reports. We may also choose to place statistics over the background. Gaze may be visualized as a gaze trail, heat map, or fixation plot, or all of these combined. Any of these visualizations may be recorded as a video or a single frame saved as an image for use in reports. We may follow along in this example as fixations are shown relative to the common background. Loading additional participant files allows us to perform a swarm over background visualization. In this example, we have two participants. Participant 1 is shown as a red cursor, while participant 2 is shown as a blue cursor. Playing the data shows each participant's gaze over the shared background. We may choose to show the combined gaze as a heat map or fixation plot over this shared background. There are many other options for data reporting within ET Analysis program, as we have merely touched on a few key features. For more information, please visit our website at www.argusscience.com. Thanks for watching.
Victoria works as a professional consultant and therapist. She wants to provide her participants with high-quality feedback. This requires an audio-video feedback system which is easy to use, yet powerful. Above all, Victoria wants to set markers and add comments while recording to make the spots easier to find later on. She uses an audio-video laboratory from Mangold. It allows Victoria to effortlessly record multiple video cameras and microphones simultaneously. During sessions, Victoria observes the situation and records markers and comments with the Mangold Video Sync Pro software. After the sessions, Victoria can provide feedback to all participants at the push of a button. To do so, she has Video Sync Pro play back the markers she deems important. This allows all participants to see and hear what actually happened. Victoria can thus provide professional advice to her participants. And because Victoria is a professional, she analyzes the video recordings again later on when she has some peace and quiet. To do this, she uses the extensive options offered by Video Sync Pro. It takes just a few mouse clicks to create comprehensive content analyses and a feedback video.
Thank you for watching another episode of Eye Tracking Fundamentals from Argus Science. This video will briefly describe our new automatic area of interest creation in the Argus Science ET Analysis package using data from the ET Vision wearable optics. After launching and loading an ET Vision file in the ET Analysis package, we may right-click on our default event and choose Configure Moving Areas of Interest. Our naming convention refers to AOIs associated with moving objects within the scene camera as moving areas of interest. We may then advance the video to a frame that shows the object
or objects we wish to define as an AOI. We can choose to draw the AOI as a rectangle or a multiple vertice boundary. In this case, we will use the multiple vertice draw option. We name the AOI, in this case, a picture of Amsterdam, and create a 4 vertice boundary defining the AOI. We may repeat this for multiple AOIs, as we do here for the welcome sign in the left of the frame. Once our AOIs are defined for this frame, we may click on any AOI and right-click to choose an option to detect a single AOI or all AOIs. In this case, we will detect all AOIs. The video will start from the beginning and search for the defined objects bounded by our AOIs. ET Analysis automatically associates each AOI to each video frame. When completed, we may add other AOIs as associated AOIs. This allows areas within or near a defined AOI to be drawn and associated with the parent AOI. In this case, we are defining the light post within the Amsterdam picture. This association is a very fast process, and multiple AOIs may be associated with any parent AOI. Once the lamppost AOI is drawn, we may right-click and choose to associate the light post to the Amsterdam pic. Now our AOI collection is complete. We may view the scene camera video with gaze cursor and the AOI shown within the video. We can observe that if the gaze is engaged with an AOI, that the name of that AOI is shown in the upper left of the frame. When gaze is engaged with the light post, for example, we'll report gaze on both the light post and the Amsterdam picture. Once we are satisfied with our AOI collection, we may calculate fixations relative to the AOI collection and create what we call a fixation sequence. We will be able to view and export, if desired, the data in tabular form, showing fixation duration relative to AOIs, either in summary format or listed by each fixation. We may also view the data in bar chart form. Any of these charts may be saved as an image for use in reports if desired. We may also view the video with AOIs and visualize the gaze as gaze points, heat maps, peak maps, fixations, or any combination thereof. Below the video, we see a time plot showing which AOI gaze is currently engaged with. Once your desired visualization is chosen, the video may be saved for use in reports or in analysis. To learn more about Argus Science and our latest developments, please visit www.argusscience.com. Thanks for watching.
Amanda and Robert are university professors. They each need an audio-video research lab. They know their research topics very well, but do not want to bother with the technical details of choosing the right cameras, recording professional audio, or syncing and storing the various videos. Fortunately, they are familiar with Mangold International and their proven audio-video research systems. Amanda knows exactly what her lab should look like. She already has a budget and needs a solution quickly. Robert does not know the framework yet. He enters a new professorship and needs an offer for his negotiations with the university. Mangold International creates offers for both professors within a very short time based on their years of experience. As soon as Mangold receives the order, they completely assemble the laboratory in their company. Mangold delivers a turnkey mobile laboratory for field studies to Amanda. All she must do is connect the cameras and power cable and start the computer with the Mangold software. She and her team receive comprehensive training and support online by Mangold specialists. Robert's lab is very complex and requires some installation work. Mangold sends a team on site. They mount cameras to walls and install all necessary cables. Finally, Robert's team receives comprehensive training on how to use the system for the intended research purpose. Both teams receive scientific and technical support for several years. They can use the labs for a long time and easily adapt them to changing research requirements. Contact Mangold today to discuss your specific needs.
This is the first in a series of projects that we're doing where we're investigating why it is that people benefit from performing music with other people. We are recording brain activity from 4 violinists while they perform with the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra. These projects are a collaboration where we're going to investigate brain activity during performance to see how that relates to boosts that people experience in well-being as a result of engaging in the performance.
In January 2017, the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the University of Saskatchewan, kind of the first of its kind. So it allowed us to open up possibilities, much like this medical research. This is not something we normally would get to do. So to be able to connect with psychology, medicine, it's a unique opportunity.
What's new and exciting about this project is the fact that we are able to collect brain data from 4 people simultaneously during a live performance outside of the lab. It's pretty common for people to experience a sense of well-being when they're engaging in these kinds of group music performance. And understanding why that happens, I think, would be exciting for anyone.
For opening night, we're actually going to be giving you a live snapshot of this medical research. The orchestra will open our season with this incredible piece of music, Elan by Derek Chark, and you'll watch the projections above the orchestra so you can kind of experience the research in real time.
Once we understand why it is that people experience benefits when they engage in music performance, we can use that information exactly to create therapies, interventions.
When we're listening to music, we aren't just passively accepting it, we're actually interacting with it and we're engaging with it. With this mobile EEG, we can actually maybe be recording brain activity between a music therapist and a client.
We also have projects set up where we're going to use the mobile EEG in experiments designed to see whether we can use these simple mobile systems to help with things like diagnosing epilepsy, diagnosing dementia in rural and remote locations. I think it opens up a lot of doors for understanding how people exist in a social world.
Richard needs a powerful tool for analyzing video contents. He has several videos, some of which he wants to watch at the same time to transcribe and code their content. He uses the Interact software by Mangold International because it is easy to use and easy to adapt to his research content and approach. Richard can start video coding right away and get results quickly. Richard has complex research questions. He is interested in descriptive statistics as well as patterns and sequences in his observational data. He uses the extensive information mining options in Interact to refine his data for these questions. With this, he can discover hidden relations which he would never see by simple observation. His institution has special scientific methods that Richard also wants to apply in his study. To do this, he just exports his data from Interact into a common CSV format. Richard's colleagues also use the Mangold Interact software. They can easily work on the same project and exchange their data. They also use Interact to calculate inter-rater reliability. With Mangold Interact, they can realize complex observational studies in a very short time. Contact Mangold today to see live how useful the Interact software can be in your observational studies.
Hello, I'm Tracy Warbrick, the Application Specialist for EEG fMRI here at Brain Products. We were really looking forward to going to ISMRM this year to introduce some new products to you. If you would like further information on these products, please click on the link below to talk to us directly. Today I'd like to introduce you to a new sponge-based electrode system for EEG fMRI recordings. This is our new RNet MR that will be coming soon. The RNet MR is based on the same principles as our lab-based RNet. It has saltwater sponges with silver chloride electrodes. These electrodes are housed in a durable, flexible silicone structure. The MR version of the RNet also has some additional features. It has current limiting resistors in the electrodes and in the connector box for safety. And we also have a gel-based ECG electrode that is much flatter and easier to lie on in the scanner. This cap is 128 channels. However, it's also available in 32, 64, and 96 channels. We are very pleased to be able to offer the RNet MR in addition to our BrainCap MR because this gives you the flexibility to choose which electrode solution is the best for your research. And remember that we're also here to provide advice on these different options so you choose the best solution for you. If you would like further information on this topic, check out our press release that's coming soon where there's an article on the RNet MR. You can also click on the link below to talk to us directly about this topic. Stay tuned for other videos that we have on another exciting new product and also an update to our MRI sequence guidelines for the BrainAmp MR system.
neurophysiology research.
What's going on in a baby's brain? Infant testing is difficult, but there is a solution. Functional near-infrared spectroscopy, FNIRS, is baby-friendly. So the lab team now deploys 2 wondrous near-sport systems to explore the ongoing neural processes in a parent and a baby. They use hyperscanning to probe into the neural correlates of bio-behavioral synchrony and attachment in parent-child diets. Even though the babies resist, the experimenters successfully capture their brain activation by putting on caps and uptones. Thus, they restore a spark of hope to infancy research. But their objective has been exposed. As the mothers speed towards helping the experimenters, the babies try to escape. Will the experimenters succeed in their mission on exposing what's going on in the baby's brain? We'll find out soon in the next session of hyperscanning.
Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining us today in our webinar. Today we will cover mobile EEG and eye tracking data. So we will have a look at the hardware and software solutions and then learn how we can also analyze combined measurement. So I'm going to start, I'm Sarah, by showing you the hardware and software solution for recording the data. And then I'm gonna hand over the word to my colleague Michael, who is going to show you how you can analyze combined EEG and eye tracking data in Brain Vision Analyzer.
Oi gente, tudo bem? Meu nome é Beatriz Frota, sou doutoranda em Neurociências pela UFRN, no Instituto do Cérebro, e também consultora científica da BrainSport. Hoje eu estou aqui para falar um pouquinho sobre o eye tracking. Vou fazer um treinamento com vocês sobre o eye tracking da Gold Vision. E, resumidamente, né, a gente pode entender que o eye tracking ele nada mais é do que um equipamento que ele vai capturar os movimentos oculares do participante do seu estudo. E a partir disso, a gente pode ter as aplicações, né, do eye tracking, que hoje em dia estão bem em uso devido justamente à facilidade do uso dessa tecnologia e as informações que ela pode nos trazer. Por exemplo, a gente tem a aplicação em neuromarketing, a questão de tipo a preferência do consumidor, então é muito utilizado para ver a questão de cores de embalagem, por exemplo, o que vai atrair mais o consumidor. Também temos estudos com relação à atenção, então a gente vai estar avaliando, por exemplo, o tamanho da pupila, o diâmetro, a contração, a dilatação e vai associar isso com a atenção seletiva. Bem, e na parte de hardware, que é a parte física, quando você adquire o equipamento da Mobile Division, vai vir essa chave de acesso, que é um pendrive, e você vai plugar ela no computador. Os softwares eles só vão funcionar se você tiver com essa chave plugada no computador. E o outro hardware que nós temos seria o próprio eye tracking, né? Que é que a gente tem, ele fica posicionado em frente ao monitor, geralmente a 57 centímetros de distância que a pessoa fica. E isso pode variar de acordo com os participantes do seu estudo. E o eye tracking, ele é basicamente, ele é bem simples, ele é formado por uma câmera, né, e 2 sensores. E importante que ele esteja numa plataforma, numa base reta e bem posicionada, né, bem estável, para a gente poder conseguir rodar os programas. E na parte de software, né, a gente tem justamente 3 programas principais que vamos estar falando agora nesse treinamento, que o primeiro deles vai ser o Mobile Division Designer, que vai ser onde a gente vai estar fazendo o estímulo, a gente vai criar o nosso estímulo. Depois vai vir o Mobile Division Record, que seria para a gente passar o estímulo para o participante. Então, o estímulo que você conseguiu produzir, você vai passar e vai registrar os sinais, os movimentos oculares. E, por último, a gente tem o Analyzer, que é onde a gente vai estar vendo o nosso dado. Então, a gente vai poder ter acesso a tabelas, gráficos, informações importantes, como a duração do experimento de cada participante. E é isso que a gente vai ver hoje. Eu vou mostrar um pouquinho agora na tela do computador como é que os softwares funcionam. E é isso aí, gente. E dando continuidade, né, como eu havia falado, agora a gente vai olhar direitinho como é que os programas funcionam no computador, né? Como é que a gente pode estar utilizando eles. Aqui, já na área de trabalho, a gente tem o design, né, que vai ser o primeiro onde a gente vai estar fazendo o estímulo, como eu falei anteriormente. O record, que a gente vai estar passando o estímulo para o participante, e o analyzer, que a gente vai estar analisando o dado. Então, primeiramente, a gente vai abrir o designer. Pronto. E aqui, a interface desses programas é uma interface muito fácil e muito simples e muito lógica de ser seguida, né? Por exemplo, aqui a gente tem para criar um novo projeto, para abrir um novo projeto, salvar o estímulo que você vai fazer. Para a gente estar fazendo o estímulo, basicamente basta você clicar nesses ícones que ficam aqui em cima, que eu vou falar sobre cada um, que ele vai aparecer aqui nessa faixa preta, que fica como se fosse um filme, que vai ser o filme que vai passar para o seu participante. Então, o primeiro que já vem, inclusive, na hora que você abre o programa, ele já aparece aqui como selecionado, é a calibração. Bom, se a gente clicar de novo, vai aparecer outra calibração. Então, aqui a gente vai estar selecionando a imagem, né, no computador. Basta você clicar aqui, que já vai abrir. Eu vou colocar aqui uma foto qualquer, que tem aqui. Pode ser do bebê. E daí eu vou colocar só uma mesmo pra gente ser mais rápido, tá? Pra quando for mostrar o estímulo. Aqui de novo vai aparecer para editar, você pode mudar o tempo que a imagem vai aparecer da mesma forma. Aqui também o tempo específico, se for para passar com o botão. Aqui nesse quinto ícone a gente vai ter o vídeo. Então, da mesma forma que a gente colocou a imagem, a gente pode estar carregando vídeos, tá? A mesma coisa, não vou repetir o processo, mas basta clicar que vai na pasta amarela que vai aparecer as coisas do computador e você já pode selecionar os vídeos que você quer que apareçam para os participantes da pesquisa. Aqui nesse sexto ícone que tem esse globo, seria para você pesquisar vídeos e imagens da internet. Então você tem acesso à internet aqui. Você coloca o site que você quer. O sétimo ícone, né? Então a gente tem a aplicação, que na verdade seria para você poder rodar esse programa com outros programas também associados. Não é muito indicado porque pode travar esse programa, então tem essa opção, mas é indicado que não se utilize porque pode travar esse estímulo diante do participante da pesquisa, por exemplo. Então pode ser um problema, tá? E o último ícone seria para capturar a tela, então você pode estar gravando tudo o que acontece, o que está acontecendo no computador, a partir de selecionar esse ícone ou não. Então aqui a gente já fechou, a gente já montou o nosso estímulo. Eu vou só tirar aqui os que eu não coloquei nada. Deixar o texto, deixar para gravar a tela. Eu vou botar aqui siga as instruções, e aí você vai colocar essas instruções. Calibração C5, ok. Então a gente vem aqui e salva o nosso estímulo. Deixa eu botar aqui. Pronto, então a gente salvou, a gente pode fechar. Certo, então depois do Mongoloid Vision Designer, que foi o que a gente fez, o estímulo, a gente vai adentrar no record, né, que a gente vai selecionar o estímulo que foi feito e vai estar passando para o participante. Então a gente clica que vai abrir já nessa primeira parte, né, onde você tem que selecionar o seu estímulo. Eu vou colocar o estímulo que eu fiz, teste. Ok. E aqui ele já nomeia automaticamente, P1. Mas eu posso colocar outro nome também. Então, essa primeira parte aqui vai justamente dizer quantos centímetros que o participante está do monitor. Como eu falei para vocês, o ideal seria 57 centímetros, então deixa eu um pouquinho mais para frente. Enfim. Pronto. E depois que você tem certeza que o participante está bem posicionado, e você pode clicar no OK. Tá bom? Então, depois que você tem total certeza que o participante está bem acomodado, está concentrado e está com a distância ideal, de acordo com o seu estímulo, você pode clicar em OK. Vai aparecer a calibração, onde o participante, nesse caso, vai ter que acompanhar o pontinho vermelho. Aí as instruções, né, que eu botei, e ela só vai passar depois que eu colocar o OK. Porque eu coloquei para fazer isso, mas pode ser também automático. Aqui vai aparecer a imagem. E dependendo das instruções, você pode dizer para a pessoa olhar para o lugar que mais chama a atenção, ou para o centro, enfim. E aqui também eu tinha colocado no meu estímulo para passar a imagem clicando, mas isso pode ser automático, tá? E pode ser randomizado também esse estímulo. Eu só coloquei aqui uma figura para a gente ver como é que coloca, e aí nisso você pode colocar várias figuras na sequência, e de acordo com o seu estudo, né? E as figuras também podem variar, podem ser vídeos, tá bom? O importante é que tenha tudo descrito direitinho lá naquelas instruções para o participante seguir. E aqui nesse caso eu botei para passar no clique. Então eu vou clicar. Ok. E nisso ele já fecha automaticamente já, quando você aperta o OK para finalizar, ele já fecha automaticamente o programa, o record, e ele já salva aquilo com o P1, né, que seria o participante 1. Então, como é que... e aqui ele já mostra também, já aparece automaticamente para você colocar, para vir um próximo participante e você começar novamente. Como é o caso aqui, a gente está só mostrando como é que vai ser feito, eu já vou lá para o Analyze e a gente já vai procurar o meu dado, né, que foi gravado agora. Então, aqui a gente vem em abrir, Open Project, a gente vai lá na pasta que eu fiz teste 1. Aqui já vai aparecer o que foi gravado já de P1, né, que fui eu agora que gravei. A gente seleciona e já vai carregar aqui os meus dados, né? Então eu vou clicar aqui e eu vou ver para onde foi que eu mais olhei. Então pode ver que eu concentrei aqui na parte do olho esquerdo do bebê, enfim. E aí vai ter os tipos de análises que você pode fazer. Por exemplo, você pode não colocar nada. Você pode colocar o plot, né, que são essas bolinhas. Você pode colocar color map, que daí vai mostrar a intensidade, né? Aí as cores mais quentes foram os lugares para onde a pessoa mais olhou. E é bem interessante visualmente, né? Chama mais atenção por ser colorido. E tem essa parte que é como se fosse um recorte da figura, né? Onde ele escurece a parte que a pessoa não olhou tanto e deixa em evidência a parte para onde onde se prendeu a atenção. Certo. Visto isso também, mexendo assim no programa, né? Brincando, você vai ver aqui para salvar, né? Do dado, daí você pode colocar. Editar, você pode colocar linhas e tal, porque na verdade essa figura que está aparecendo aqui na tela, ela já pode ser usada no seu paper, né, como resultado do seu estudo. Então daí você pode fazer como você quiser. Eu vou tirar essa daqui. Então aqui você pode colocar figuras, que nem no Paint, né, formas, né, e você pode destacar. Essa figura que está aqui, ela já pode ser usada como uma figura de paper, por exemplo, como resultado preliminar ou prévio dos seus dados. Então é bem importante já mexer bem nela, porque você já pode aproveitar, né, como se fosse já um resultado do seu estudo. Só uma coisa também interessante que vale a pena ressaltar é que o Analyzer, ele dá análise simples do seu dado. Então pode ser como se fosse uma identificação prévia do seu dado, para saber se o seu dado está bom, para saber se tem coisa interessante ou não no seu dado. Para análises mais específicas, assim, dependendo de acordo com do seu estudo, né, do objetivo do seu estudo, você pode também usar outros programas para fazer análises mais elaboradas, né, ou mais específicas, como por exemplo o MATLAB, tá? Outras linguagens de programação, o Python, por exemplo, que pode te ajudar a fazer análises maiores. Para isso, esse programa ele também vai ele vai te dar uma tabela com os dados do participante. Então aqui a gente tem o nome do participante, a gente vai ter o tempo, a duração, o eixo X, o eixo Y, o diâmetro da pupila, esquerda e direita. Então são dados importantes e que são super fáceis de estarem utilizando em outras plataformas, como por exemplo o MATLAB, né? É nesse formato aqui que ele lê o dado. E essa tabela você pode salvar, copiar, então é bem fácil você exportar esse dado daqui, tá? E nisso também você pode incluir mais variáveis, tá? Mais variáveis na sua tabela. Tá, então aqui a gente viu que a gente pode ver as tabelas, né? Eu coloquei uma outra gravação que eu tinha... Uma outra gravação que eu tinha feito, né, com outro participante também, um outro teste, porque é justamente para a gente vir aqui em análises e poder olhar os gráficos disso, os gráficos do nosso dado. Então, como eu estava falando, eu acabei pegando mais outras variáveis que é para a gente colocar aqui nesse outro tipo de análise que ele gera para a gente gráficos, né? Então, aqui você seleciona o que você quer que mostre na sua figura, que também pode ser usado já como uma figura do seu paper. Então, você quer que mostre legenda, os valores, informações do participante, né? Uma caixinha com informações. Aqui você pode salvar e copiar também esse gráfico. Você pode selecionar qual gráfico que você quer. Tem barras, tem pizza, linha. E deixa eu ver o que mais importante mostrar daqui. Basicamente isso. Aqui vai ter mais observações sobre cada participante, né? Aqui você pode ver de todos os participantes ou selecionar. E aqui seria configurações. Então, basicamente é isso, sabe? O Analyze ele vai te mostrar tabelas, vai te mostrar gráficos, vai te mostrar figuras para onde a pessoa está olhando. E para análises mais complexas, ele também te dá informações que você pode estar usando em outras plataformas, em outras linguagens de programação. E por hoje é isso, eu espero que tenha esclarecido algumas coisas sobre esses 3 programas. Como vocês viram, é super fácil você ter acesso, é super fácil você também fazer uso desses softwares, né? Espero que contribua com sua pesquisa e até a próxima!
say there's always magic in the air. But when you're walking down.
In this video, we will show you how to replace sponges of the Arnet. All you need to get started are the following items found in the Arnet starter kit: tweezers, extra sponges, a jug of water, and of course the Arnet. Soak both the Arnet and replacement sponges in water for 10 to 15 minutes. Put the Arnet on a towel inside out and dry carefully. Squeeze the new sponge between your fingers to make it shapeable. Revert the Arnet, grab the electrode holder from below and twist the electrode counterclockwise to remove it from the holder. Then, push or pull out the old sponge with your fingers or the tweezers. Using the tweezers, grab the new sponge and put it through the opening of the electrode holder. Hold the sponge in place while retracting the tweezers and make sure it is aligned in the holder. The sponge should protrude about 2 mm above the opening of the holder. Put the electrode back in place on the holder by pushing it down into the sponge. Lock it in place with a clockwise motion.
Thank you for watching the Argus Science use case series featuring the ET Vision wearable eye tracker. Today we will follow as an athlete navigates various conditions on a mountain bike trail. The ET Vision tracks features of both eyes at a rate of 180 frames per second. We use this information to calculate gaze relative to the forward-facing high-definition scene camera. In this video, we see both eyes in the upper corners, and gaze is presented as a small yellow cursor on the scene camera image. The athlete's visual search is used in two general ways. The first is shown as gaze projected further along the trail to determine trail direction. The other visual search is used to negotiate close obstacles of immediate concern. Where the trail is relatively free of objects, we can see that a higher percentage of visual attention is used for determining the progression and direction of the trail. As the obstacles become more numerous, such as in this rock garden, we can see full visual attention is applied to negotiate and determine the best path through the obstacles. Further along into the ride, the athlete enters a section that is predominantly downhill. As speeds increase, we can see the gaze is primarily engaged further down the trail to allow the rider to be prepared for the sweeping turns in this section. Gaze does occasionally engage with near objects, but at a reduced frequency as opposed to the earlier rock garden section. This final downhill section will feature an embedded video in the lower left that shows the rider from afar as he negotiates this final downhill section. Thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit more about the ET Vision and see it in action. To learn more, visit us at www.argusscience.com.